Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be giving you my Virgo February 2022 horoscope forecast, and yes, it does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, well, as far as February goes, the Sun will be in Aquarius from the 1st until the 18th, so the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, some cases it might shine the light on an Aquarius health-related issue. It could be something with the calves, the ankles, the shins, circulation, something with the nerves. It could be some kind of spasms or intermittent twitching. Could also be where the biological father or child may figure more prominently in the daily routine at this time for Virgo. And it may be these people may be one or more, may be a sun, may have an Aquarius, sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those characteristics. There could also be a focus more on service, on health, on pets at this time, employment. And it may be done, and this service may be done with a lot of Aquarius altruism and selflessness at this time. And this is also at this time as well, it's also about taking action. Sun is connected with our action and on something that could be an Aquarius health related issue, or it could be just something with employment. It could be something with astrology or computers, innovation and technology, aerospace, astronomy as some examples. Now, the Sun is also going to be in Pisces from February 18th through the 28th. As far as February goes, from the 18th until the 28th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time for you, Virgo, it may be a time where this could be, sometimes it might shine the light, so to speak, on a Pisces open adversary or legal opponent. It might be a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that simply embodies Piscean traits. It can be focusing on very maybe nebulous or unclear legal situations, or even a marriage partner, significant other that either may be nebulous or unclear or deceptive and duplicitous at this time. And it's also a time too where you may be more motivated, more driven at this time to really just help others. It could be in general, it could be using a lot of the Piscean sacrifice and altruism at this time. Could also be sometimes the focus on dissolving and dissipation of, it could be a situation with a significant other or marriage partner at this point in time. And remember, the Sun is also connected with the biological father and children. So it can be at this time where in some isolated cases, one of these people may be an open adversary at this time, or it could be a legal opponent, but it could also be a time where these people just might figure more prominently in your relationships. It could be in legal matters, maybe assisting you in legal matters, maybe competition. Could be some Piscean related competition, something with canoeing or boating, or fishing, anything that could be Pisces related. Maybe a time to, well, next thing I'm going to get to, there's going to be a new moon in Aquarius on February 1st. And so for Virgo, the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Virgo, you may start something. It could be a new Aquarius related employment, maybe doing something with astronomy or computers or astrology, electronics, innovation, meteorology, aviation as some examples. It could be just simply the start of incorporating more selflessness and altruism and consideration in your daily routine. And maybe a time where maybe you feel like you form a friendship. It could be the start of a friendship with somebody that's prominent in your daily routine or your place of employment. It could be at a health or a fitness place. Maybe it's a start of some unusual or unorthodox diet, or it could be a health regime. Um, this is also a time, or maybe it's a time too, where you feel like it could be a start of having more rapport with a pet, or where you feel like there's more of a friendship at this time, with your pet. As unusual as that may seem, but hey, Aquarius is unusual energy. Now, also, there's going to be a full moon in Leo on February 16th. So, for Virgo, the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, in some cases, this could become, more cognizant or unveiling or revelation. It could be of a Leo hidden adversary. It could be somebody, that may be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody Leo traits. Maybe somebody that's just very domineering or arrogant or bombastic or showy, attention-seeking. And it might be, a time, too, where this could also, it could also be a revelation of doing something maybe of a creative nature, perhaps with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, or just creative ability that you can express in solitude and seclusion, or a limit, or it could even simply be a limitation of being extroverted or gregarious. It could really be an eye-opener, or because again, full moons can be connected with revelations and unveilings. It could also be something that may come to a completion or culmination, where it may be something that's dominated your private life. Maybe perhaps that might come to an end. It could be a situation with an aunt or an uncle that comes to an end, maybe very dramatically, where maybe there's something where these people might have been monopolizing your time, as an example, and it's you release some of that Leo ferocity, and you let them know it's time. It has to come to an end, or just simply be something limiting or inhibiting in your own life, or a fear that maybe being more about getting attention, maybe for things that you feel you deserve attention for at this time. And maybe there's some limitations with that, and it's time you're saying, okay, I want this to come to an end. I want to get some recognition and accolades for what I'm doing, as another example. But anyway, well, the next thing up is, Mercury will be in Capricorn as far as February goes, from the 1st until the 14th. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. Now, at this time, Virgo, this could be a time of very serious communications with a child, with a lover. It could be very introspective thinking about where you are in your love life, or matters with children, or just matters pertaining to your fun, amusement, and enjoyment at this time. It's also a lot of discipline thinking in 5th house related matters, and thinking about maybe gaining more structure and discipline in your love life, matters with children, even having fun as well. It can be, the 5th house is also about investments. It might be a lot of planned thinking on what you want to do in terms of matters with investments at this time. And Mercury is also connected with siblings, cousins, and neighbors, so they may figure more prominently in your fun at this time. It could be doing something Capricorn related, whether it's like a business game, or playing, or could be mountain climbing, rock climbing, maybe even running obstacle course. I would say, think Capricorn is a sign of restrictions and obstacles, just as some examples at this time. And could be playing some board game that's connected with politics or the government, as some examples. And anyway, Mercury is going to be in Aquarius as far as February goes, from the 14th until the 28th. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time, Virgo, you might find yourself maybe talking more, could be about Aquarius, health-related issues, such as something with the nerves, the circulation, the calves, the ankles, the lower legs, the shins. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, another way this could manifest is where you might just be simply expressing more ingenuity at your place of employment. It could be talking about your future as far as your employment goes, your work life, maybe even getting a pet, um, service that you may render. Maybe it's a time where you're thinking about rendering some service associated with astrology or computers or electronics, and where you simply express a lot of selflessness and altruism in the process, and also maybe talking about it being maybe just more considerate to others in your daily routine at this time. And again, the that Mercury is also connected with siblings, cousins, and neighbors, so they may figure more prominently in your daily routine, in your work life at this time. Matters with pets. It could be health-related issues, and this could also be it could be an Aquarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or people, or people that embody those traits. Um, and Mercury is also, keep in mind, Mercury is associated with the hands and the arms and breathing. There might be some issues with this at this time that might be erratic and sporadic. There might be some twitching, in the hands or the arms, or there may be some issues with breathing that might be, again, very erratic and sporadic. They may come and go because that's what Mercury is connected with. And Aquarius, of course, is erratic and sporadic energy. Now, next thing up. Well, Venus will be in Capricorn for the entirety of 2022, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. At this time, Virgo, well, it could be a time, considering we're talking about the fifth house of love and Venus, which is associated with relationships and love. This could be a time where it might be, if you're unattached, it could be auspicious for finding an older person in your life, or even valuing older people that you might have romantic connection with, and also really it could be about valuing structure and discipline and consistency in matters of the heart, with children, with your hobbies, your games at this time. It can be also a time where Venus is also connected with money, so it can be about doing something monetary that could be Capricorn related that you may enjoy, which is the fifth house. It could be doing something with accounting or dentistry or information technology, masonry, or carpentry, as some examples. Now, it's also a time too where you talk about Venus again. It's connected. It's our values and money, but it's also our self-worth. And the self-worth, it's possible there may be some restrictions with this at this time, and it might be tied in maybe with the relationship with a romantic partner, or it could be with children at this point in time. But it could also be a time which might be positive for investments. Venus is about money. Fifth house is investments. It could be something where maybe it's really done, with a lot of Capricorn, prudence and premeditation, and something where you feel, something you feel is safe, where you can get, something where you're not maybe spending a lot, that you feel there'll be a consistent, steady gain on it, slow, maybe something that comes very slowly but surely, because Capricorn, of course, is very cautious and prudent energy, and it's something where you might very slowly but surely get some kind of financial gain on it. Capricorn can be very methodical energy, to say the least. And, anyway, well, the next thing up, well, Mars will be in Capricorn for the entirety of February 2022. So again, the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. There may be contentious, even acrimonious situations with lovers, with children. They may be over matters associated with the responsibilities, the career, structure, discipline. Could even be general coldness, maybe that you may be feeling from these people at this time, fifth house people. There may be as well a lot of energy discipline, consistent energy, maybe going into sports or just having your fun, your amusement, your enjoyment in general at this time. And it could also be a time where you may connect with an older person if you're unattached at this time. Virgo could be for a romantic connection, and it may be one where there's much drive and motivation in order to do so. Um, it can also be a time too where you might be at this time. I mean, Mars is very action oriented, so this is a time where it's about really taking action. Again, matters with lovers, with children, with your investments at this time, matters with speculation. Um, it can be something too where you might feel at this time as well. Mars is also, keep in mind, Mars can be connected with injuries, with cuts. Um, it can be a time you need to be careful if you're involved in any sports at this time. Virgo, there might be some injury you may succumb to that may be associated with something Capricorn related, such as something with the hamstrings, the knees, the bones, the joints at this time as a result of some physical activity associated with the sport. So anyway, well, the next thing up, Jupiter will be in Pisces for the entirety of 2022. So the seventh house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, Virgo, one thing that's positive and auspicious about this could be a good time where there may be prosperity. It could be in a Piscean business connection, business partnership. It could be doing something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology or poetry or dancing or photography or anesthesiology as some examples. It might be a time too, as I've stated in previous videos, that Jupiter can be very paradoxical, could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have the tendency to enlarge and expand. It could enlarge deception, duplicity in your relationships that you may be dealing with. It could also be where you're dealing with maybe some confusing legal situation. Maybe it's got a lot of details in it, and you're having trouble even being being Virgo. You're having trouble assimilating all that, or it could just be a very nebulous or enlarged and nebulous or unclear legal scenario. But it could also be very auspicious if you're unattached at this time, Virgo. It could be an auspicious time for marriage, for having a significant other. Being in Pisces, it might be something that you even fantasized about a person, or as far as the qualities they may have, and it may be something that you thought was unattainable. So we are talking about Pisces energy. Jupiter is also connected with the truth, so it can be a time where the truth may come out, may be unveiled regarding someone in a relationship. It can be, some cases, it could be, it might be some significant other, might be an important friendship, and somebody maybe had either beguiled you, or a person that was just generally deceptive or duplicitous, or maybe weak-willed or overly passive, and something is coming out perhaps regarding that at this time. Now the next thing up, well, Saturn will be in Aquarius for the entirety of February 2022, so the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. At this time, Virgo, well, there might be some difficulties or restrictions or limitations associated with your employment or your health even at this time. There might be something, being in Aquarius, it could be something with the ankles or the shins, the calves, the nerves, circulation. At this time. And the thing about this too is where you're having Saturn is connected to with sorrow, with despondency. Maybe there's something connected to sadness or sorrow associated with friendships in the daily routine at your place of employment. It could also be a time where you might find you may have to be more you might have more responsibility toward your pets, if you have any, if applicable. toward people in your place of employment, your daily routine, even an aunt or an uncle, and may be expressed again with a lot of Aquarius selflessness and altruism at this point in time. And also maybe something health related you may be dealing with that could be connected with Saturn. It might be something with the knees, the bones, the joints, the hamstrings, the gallbladder. Being an Aquarius, it might be something that's very sporadic and may come and go. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, well, Uranus will be in Taurus for the entire month of February 2022. So at this time, Virgo, the ninth house is what's going to be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, can manifest in a number of ways. You may take an unexpected, spontaneous, long-distance journey somewhere. It can be something too where you may find that in-laws, grandchildren may be a little bit more unpredictable at this time, acting unusually. You may also be interested in doing something Uranus related as far as higher education goes. It could be doing something with astronomy or electronics or computers or something with aviation, meteorology, and it may be something that, being in Taurus, you strongly value, and something that you show a lot of, it could be something that you show a lot of persistence with and loyalty, basically. Or it could also be a time too where friendships might figure more prominently, in your philosophy and your religion at this time. It could be, they might be Taurus. These friendships may be Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply embody those characteristics. It could be people that are very persistent, loyal, stolid, steadfast, reliable. So anyway, well, the next thing up, okay, Neptune will still be in Pisces. It's going to be in Pisces for the entirety of February 2022. So the seventh house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, you might experience some deception, some duplicity in your relationships at this time. Virgo, relationships may be dissolving and dissipating slowly but surely. I have the placement natally. I have Neptune in the seventh house in my natal chart, and this could manifest during the time of this transit as having difficulty deciphering motives and intentions of others in general, or even a significant other at this time. You have to be very careful this time too as far as contracts go, Virgo, because when you're talking about Neptune / Pisces energy, there may be difficulty in seeing the details. You may have more of a tendency to gloss over the details. Be very assiduous, be very careful regarding contracts at this point in time before signing them. Make sure you're seeing all the fine print. You ask all the right questions, which Virgo can generally do anyway, but still, better to be safe than sorry. And it might be a time where you might be expressing more sacrifice in your relationships at this point in time, and you might feel like you're doing a lot for others but not getting a lot in return, and this is the time where you might be really experiencing that. Seventh house is also connected with competition, so there could be something where you may be doing something associated with Neptune / Pisces that's competition related. It could be doing something with the water, or canoeing, or playing like water polo, or swimming as some examples. Or maybe there's something with poetry, and that could be another example because that's connected with Neptune, Pisces energy. Dancing as another example. Now, last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, and of course it'll be in Capricorn for the entire month of February 2022 at this time. The fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, some cases it can manifest in the death of a child or a lover. It could also be a time where you may be dealing with power struggles with a lover, with a child at this time, or there may even, you have to be careful at this time, Virgo, because sometimes this can be expressed in compulsive gambling at this time. If you're somebody that is a gambler, it may be more intensified at this time, more so than usual. You may find at this time as well, Virgo, it might be a time where you might feel like, maybe it's time to, it's about gaining control of your love relationships, the connection with children. Fifth house is also associated with our fun, our amusement, our enjoyment. Maybe you're doing something Plutonian in matters with those things. It could be doing something with recycling you might find enjoyable, or the occult, which is also the occult can include astrology. Maybe it's about making just some kind of transformation at this time, whether it might be working on vehicles or whatever it might be. There's anything that could be Pluto related. Maybe there's something with investigating. It could just simply, or just trying to locate things that are hidden. It could simply be going around with one of those, like a metal detector, and looking for lost coins. These are some examples. And anyway, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.